Hey, what's up, YouTube? Your boy's back. It's Dan here with another mental health video. Now, today I'm making a video on something that might have been covered in bits and pieces from different videos I've made, but I want to condense it all to one video about how I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So, I mean, growing up, I really didn't have a lot of friends. You know, I was very shy and awkward. Um, I actually had to stutter. Um, and it was something that was so bad I had to, take. I had to see a speech therapist all the way to high school for it. So I was bullied for that, for being awkward, just that kind of stuff. And eventually, it resulted in me seeing a therapist, in which I was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, or social phobia, as it's also called. And he would teach me how to, try to, exude more confidence, and how to calm down when I was panicking and stuff like that. So uh, I was going to this this private school before, but I transferred back to my home district because I wanted a clean slate, a chance to see if I can just start anew basically. However, it didn't really work out that way. I actually was a lot worse off. I was having I was skipping classes. I'll be having panic attacks in the bathroom. Yeah, I just didn't want to go to classes. Just the presence of that many people just scaring the shit out of me, basically. So as a result, I saw my general practitioner. I got an antidepressant. I was on Lexapro and started it. Waiting for it to do its job, and then when it worked, it really did work. I'm like made me manic for almost a year, and when this happened, I was like, wow, my social anxiety's gone. It's like it's cured. But I mean, of course, when you're feeling like basically high, it's gonna feel that way. I mean, I was just very initially I was very loud, euphoric, probably annoying to most people, but yeah, you know, um, I had all the classic stuff, not getting any sleep, and this was going on for a while, for a year. There were a lot of cringy memories as a result. I mean, just people hated me for it, for how I was acting, and especially people that saw me as a quiet kid. When I first transferred to the school, they were like, "What the hell's wrong with is he? I don't know, is he using stuff?" Which is kind of actually what some people would say about me, that I was just using drugs. So yeah, my therapist, the one I was seeing before, he actually noticed this change in me, and he brought in my parents one time for a meeting, and he said, "Look, I think your son might have bipolar disorder because he's acting very off, from what he was acting before. Like he's laughing his ass off during my sessions and just, you know, it's clearly highly my mood was elevated." But my parents, and I mean, now I look back and it's like we didn't know, but they were taken aback by this and offended, I guess you could say. It's, my son isn't crazy. Um, and yeah, we stopped seeing him, and I feel bad because he actually got it right all along. Wish I could reach out to him. But yeah, so um, eventually though, I would crash. At the beginning of my senior year, um, got transferred junior year, so in the beginning of my senior year, uh, yeah, I'd say end of September, I just I woke up, I was crying, went in class crying, in the bathroom crying, just all the time, like public places, my family. I would just cry, and feeling extremely low, no motivation. It was just all the classic signs of depression, which I had never experienced prior to this. This is my first time, and it so not only is it a shock for the first time, but at this magnitude, it's just um, I couldn't believe it. So it was just so incapacitating that I couldn't go to school. So I was referred to a partial program, PHP, in which, yeah, they saw me in the state, then, and they, I guess, didn't know about my past very well, like what happened those 9 months where I was manic. Like that wasn't recorded, so I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and I was given Effexor. Now went manic on this as well, but it was very different. I was very like paranoid, basically. Like I I thought God was like sending thoughts to me in my head, and I would collect like artifacts for him, like which are really just trash on the ground that I thought was valuable for him. Like, I picked up this. I walked into this like my neighbor's like backyard, and I found like a stick with like a grave engraving on it. I thought it was something special, so I kept it with me and took it back home. I picked up garbage, looked at the numbers and stuff to see if there's a secret message. It just crazy shit. And then the thing is, it was like a lot of it also was like a lot of it was like with my thoughts, like I said mentioned before. So like the thought insertion, as it's called, and but also thought broadcasting, where I thought people could read my mind, and as a result, I would try to filter my thoughts. Cause I thought not only can they read my thoughts, but they're very vulgar, they're very uh, they're very violent, or they're very hateful, which I guess goes along with my OCD that I wasn't diagnosed with at the time, but I had signs of, um, and it was just very stressful to be in the presence of other people because I was always it's like your brain saying, "Oh, I'm gonna think something bad," and you can't stop it, so you try telling yourself, don't think those thoughts, but of course, don't. The first reaction is going to be thinking those thoughts because you're afraid of it and it's on your mind. So, with that, I also thought that like cameras were everywhere and they're filming my life. Like I don't know if any of you guys watched the Truman Show. It literally was like that. I thought the cameras were like watching me and filming my life and this reality TV show just to examine me. I don't know for what purpose, like a comedic purpose, like to laugh at me, whatever it was. I didn't know. Um, or maybe like from a just kind of experimental purpose. But whatever the case was, I knew that at the time. I knew like I I thought they were recording me um, constantly and just watching my life on their TVs. So I was very uh, particular with my actions, basically, um, and because you have that much pressure on you all the time. So other besides that, I also had like crying spells. I just, like I mentioned before, and I was talking very fast. Like you couldn't understand what I was saying, how fast I was talking. I'm not exaggerating that. Like people would like, with those kind of things, they'd say like they call me Jesus boy, you know, because of you know, the thought insertion I had along with my hyper religiosity I had at the time, as well. With the talking fast, they'd say I was like a rapper, because of how fast I was speaking. So it was like I'd say in hindsight, it was like a mixed episode with both elements of the mania and the depression. Um, and the PHP program was afraid to diagnose me with bipolar because I was only 17 at the time. It, typically comes out later in like college age kids. Well, I guess it's not that far off, but still, I was relatively young. I just turned 17, and they, uh, yeah, they just didn't want to like scare me, and also just like wanted to make sure it wasn't like a combination of other things. So I wasn't diagnosed, but pretty much all the staff was on board that I was bipolar. Looking back at their notes, like they give you the notes that the PHP write about you when you're done with the program, at least my program. So um, yeah, they were like saying, "Oh, signs of mania here." He reports no sleep over the past like week, like a total of like 10 hours sleep over the past week. Um, so I was off of Effexor and I went back to the euphoric high that I had before. when I was like the Lexapro. So I told everyone that I'm cured of my like depression and that they should all go get off their meds because you know that's how we're naturally supposed to feel or something. And I feel bad for all that, like saying all those things. And I hope I didn't influence anyone's actual choices with their meds without speaking to their doctor. But you know, I just I was just so just like all my thoughts were distorted. It just I wasn't making any sense. I wasn't coherent. Uh, and I had so much energy, and I just said the first thing on my mind. So it was just something in the past. Uh, and the doctor tried to prescribe me Abilify, like and which is an antipsychotic, to help with both the mania and the uh, some of the psychosis. But um, the thing is that I was very firm in that thinking like I don't need this. I can handle it myself. I could do like acupuncture, which what I was doing. I was doing this like herbal Chinese medicine. It was, I was like, no, I got this. So um, I didn't take it, and then I graduated the program, and a few months later, uh, there's me just running outside in my underwear, into the park at like you know 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, uh, just screaming dumb shit. So police took me to the ambulance, you know, and yeah, that's when I was hospitalized the first time. And the doctor didn't want to, you know, wanted me to be sure because this was such. I started to have a little bit of insight because we're not like we're just drones. We see that our behavior is at least a little bit um, out there. Maybe if not to the extent that other people see it, but we'll see a little bit. Um, at least of something of that magnitude. And as a result, I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 with psychotic features. And ever since then, it's been a struggle. I have mostly lows these days, most of the highs, but regardless, either one is a terrible state to be in. So I've just been trying to, recover my life and hopefully find myself, the real Dan that exists somewhere. Sometimes I forget, and it seems like some abstract concept of myself, but I know it exists, and it includes not just coming back to where I used to be, but um, kind of forming like a second me, like a Dan 2.0, as I like to put it, um, where it includes and encompasses all the progress I've made in my in developing my character and yeah, to develop my character and personality as a result of going through this. I've met many cool people uh, through these, programs and people suffering relating to them, um, helping each other out. And I think it's helped me mature more because as time goes on, I'm starting to uh, see how to the extent like of how I could work on myself. Uh, which is an opportunity that a lot of people don't have because they're busy with work. I don't know about now with the virus, but you know, uh, without me being mentally ill, I never would have really put in this time and effort to becoming a better person because I know I have a lot of flaws uh, outside of my diagnosis, but my diagnosis opened the door to me working on this stuff. So anyway, that's my story. Hope you guys found something in there that you can relate to. If it helped out at all. Um, I'll be trying to make more videos now with the virus. I have no excuse to not make videos. Uh, so yeah, I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. And yeah, peace, guys.